All right, welcome back to Jeff Koinange live here at Citizen Television. This is a part we all like, the interview, one-on-one, with COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli. Literally just landed from Khartoum. The man is always on the road, difficult to get, but I think it was the right man to get for this kind of topic. Not just 26 days and 26 nights to go before the elections, but the last 2 weeks, tragic happenings here in this country. SG, karibu sana. Good to see you. Try not to sleep in the next hour, okay? Let's start. Yesterday, announcement, Nicholas Biwott, long-serving minister, man known as Total Man, Bull of Auckland, whatever you want to call him, passed away.
First and foremost, I want to wish the Royal Media journalists who have a skirmish of an accident today very quick recovery.
Thank you.
Journalists of this country have done a commendable job through difficulties, and when they are in problems, we must appreciate.
Thank
they
you.
are part and parcel of the engine that drives information in this country.
Thank you very much.
Now, coming back to the late Biwott, Total Man as he's known, I want also to take this opportunity on my own behalf, of the organization that I lead, to send my condolences to my colleagues, members of the organization that I represent, to the families of the Total Man. The Total Man did a commendable job by assisting our second president of the Republic of Kenya, President Daniel Troy, teach Arab Moi.
Did you know him?
Yeah, I knew him very well.
You knew him?
Yeah, and a friend.
Give me one memory. Give me one of the memories that you recall.
No, the one of the, there are several.
Give me one.
Because since he left active politics, we have been together always, because where my bank, where I draw my salary from, is where he also banks. So we are always together at the Barclays Plaza.
You're always there counting your money?
No, when I'm going there for my salary, I don't do business. I always meet him there, and we have a session discussing on topical issues of this country, political, social.
Yeah, was he a nice guy? Was he a social guy? Was he friendly?
Of course, he was friendly, but very mysterious, because as social as he was very much concerned, one, about his own security, and two, he was so careful, even in his speech and everything. He's a man who could choose what to say. He was not like me, who can say anything under the sun.
He was very secretive, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
About how he traveled, about where he lived.
Absolutely.
Very few people knew where he lived.
But I think he did a lot of reading, and he had a lot of connections with the he had a lot of friends in Israel and the rest of the world, and he knew how to handle himself locally without being traced or without.
But let's face it, SG, he has gone with a lot of secrets.
Now, that is how it should be for somebody who works in public service. That is how it should be.
Why? Because
you leave people united, you leave people together, you leave people, you don't create enemies when you are departing because of what you knew. You don't leave people divided.
So like Kanyotu, they go to the grave with the secrets.
Yeah, that is how it should be.
When are we ever going to know?
Yeah, no, you see, when you carry a Bible that will be able to protect, and particularly in the civil service, you have got to protect the secrets of the government. You don't go out there saying, this is what I do, and this, that is not government.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Serikali ni serikali.
Kabisa.
So you die with that serikali.
Serikali.
Yeah.
All right. Major General Joseph Nkaissery.
Oh, that was a wonderful man.
That was tough.
That was a wonderful man. I haven't come to terms with his... with this demise.
I saw you that morning live on TV at Lee Funeral Home.
No, I was in Arusha.
That morning?
I was chairing our East African Trade Union Confederation meeting in Arusha, and advising the current chair on how to handle things, because we have a new chairman. I handed over my chairmanship to him, a young man called Eric from Rwanda. And at 4 a.m. when I received information that Nkaissery is no more. And I had just to put on and get into the vehicle back to Kenya. So I arrived here that very morning, and I went straight to Lee.
Yeah. I saw you on Citizen Television that morning.
Because that was a great man.
Yeah.
And a man who, if you remember very well, during Labour Day, I singled him out amongst Kenyan cabinet secretaries because of what he has done. He has stemmed Al-Shabaab. He has stemmed those robbers in Nairobi and so on, those carjackers. Yeah. He has stemmed almost. And he has helped our Inspector General to reduce the number of reported criminal cases, both in Nairobi and elsewhere in the country. Yeah. He's done a commendable job, and he's assertive, As an army man, he remained assertive even in his own private life. Yes. And he was a no-nonsense guy, and those are the people we need in the civil service. Yeah.
And Internal Security Ministry, Staff Ministry, another one of your friends, the late John Michuki.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Michuki,
and you respected him a lot?
Very much, because he was a man, when he says he will do this, he will have to do it. Yeah. And one thing people didn't understand him, he was not tribal. Yeah. I remember very well he was not tribal. I don't want to name, because immediately the NAC government came in. He remembered most of his friends in Western Province, their children, when he used to be a DO in Western Kenya. He could ask, where is this one? So did he leave a young man? He did this, bring him. And he gave them jobs, So he was a different animal. And he was a man who was committed to this country. We have people who are in public service because, as I told you one day, they use the language that let me be here for purposes of making money. Yes. Honorable Michuki was not like that.
And Nkaissery the same.
Nkaissery the same. These are really true nationalists. Yeah. And it was not easy. Remember, he was in the opposition.
Yes.
But when he was approached, he said no. And that is what is all about an army man. Yeah.
Loyalty.
The only time when you are called by your government to serve, you must be obedient and say yes. You must obey.
And despite the fact that he was very fit, he used to work out a lot.
Absolutely. That is not a panacea to die. It's death. Let nobody cheat you that when you are doing exercise every morning you are doing this. When the cardiac arrest wants to attack you, you can just be attacked. That's not the medicine. Yeah. And also, once it is written, I think somewhere, that when your time comes, not even 1 single minute or a second will pass.
That's right.
So we are here at the courtesy of our Maker, God.
That's it.
Yeah, he's the man who knows our
destiny. SG, I hope you're exercising, huh?
I do, yes.
From
October last year up to February this year, I lost 9 kilos.
Really?
You remember when I was here, I was so huge. And my doctor, Dr. Martin Wanyoike of Nairobi Hospital, advised me to buy a treadmill. And he told me, if you don't, can I buy it for you? Because you have worked hard for what you have. And we will not be happy to see you in a state of, of either you have been, you are not there.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Because of ignoring.
You have to take care of your health.
Yeah,
you have to listen to your body.
Absolutely.
Gigi Kariuki. Before that, Gigi Kariuki 2 weeks ago.
Gigi Kariuki, this is a guy. This is part of the few people who are remaining who propelled our second president to power. Gigi Kariuki. When Moi was becoming a president, he was one of the most powerful associates of President Moi.
Him, John Joe, and Biwott.
And Biwott. You know very well. Yes. Yeah. They were the strategists in that government. And they're the people who made sure that Moi is rooted in that government before he left it. Yeah. And I was surprised because he's also a serious guy. When he said, I want to go back as a senator, and he was elected.
Yeah, he was elected.
Yeah, so, people thought of what he did and how he was. Because let me tell you, politics now is not for the old people like Gigi.
No.
And if you can see him being re-elected or being elected, then it means he was a serious person.
That says a lot.
And I have said time and again, let us support the youth. If you are an old person going to Parliament or the Senate, this is a waste of time. Yeah, because we are living in a different generation. We have people, young people like Keter, people like this young man in Kanini Kega.
Yes, Kanini Kega.
We have somebody down there in South Nyanza, this young man called Junet. These
Mount.
are the people that people are looking at, that people who can propel, people who can create a change.
Yeah.
These are a lot of youthful leaders, and we need to support them.
Yeah.
Apart from sometimes some do let us down when they join those people who say, let us make money, let us do this. But young people who are serious are really serious.
Yeah.
And also it is us, we people who are old, who let them down. Because the cartels are owned by the old guys. Old guys are the people who own cartels.
That's right.
Like now they are sitting on periphery and pushing Jubilee on the other side, pushing Naso on the other side.
Right.
Immediately whoever comes in, you know, don't think that they are supporting, the cartels don't support only one faction.
No, both.
Yeah, both. And they have no tribe. Their interest is their tribe.
And money.
And money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this week, you came out very strongly. We're switching gears now, okay? We've done our bit on condolences and stuff. You came out very strongly to defend the Chief Justice.
Absolutely correct.
When Jubilee called on the judiciary and said, listen, why are you interfering in this thing?
And let me tell you outright, I've been around for some times. I think Jubilee, they don't know where their powers are. You cannot be in a government on a constitutional position. Their offices are constitutional and a superior office, and you attack another constitutional office, and you carry it up your Bible to defend all those constitutional offices, including the Constitution, then you are a completely confused person. Because today, who chairs the interministerial committee? Is the president.
Correct.
If today he sat down and he asked the Attorney General, I want to have a meeting with all judges, magistrates, and so on, quietly without people knowing, and have dinner with them at State House, and quietly send a message and say, look, we have got to do things in a right way, or this is how I feel, without going out publicly. Yeah. Because now the consumers of what he said, this is the international community. If you see what other papers outside there, New York Times, what have you, CNN, BBC, how they are terming it, you know, they think this young man is becoming autocratic, he's becoming undemocratic, you know. Yes. And that is, they are denting him. You dent yourself but what you are saying.
And that's why you jumped in to defend Nagara.
Because I know I'm not only a local trade union leader, I'm also an international person. Yes. So I know, I understand. It is good sometimes when you have something, you know how to channel it, other than going public like that. It doesn't augur well. Two, we need a judiciary. You don't support the judiciary when it is favoring you. We need a free and independent judiciary that can come out even with a ruling against you. Yeah. Yeah. That is what we do. We go to industrial court or labor relations court. We lose cases to employers. We don't become wild and say, this judge is doing this and that, or is related to so and so. Right. Everybody is related to one another. Jeff, I'm your relative.
Indeed.
Yeah. Because when I was growing, you don't know what I did in your area. You can't know even if you are my son.
So can I call you daddy?
Yes, of course, because I'm an old guy. Huh? Okay. You can, of course. Yeah. I remember when I saw you, I told you, I saw you when you were working for Panam. Yes. I saw you.
Back then.
Yeah, when you were in Atlanta, Georgia, with CNN, I saw you. Yes. We met again back in Harare during Mugabe's election.
So we're related.
We are related. You can't say, oh, this judge is related to so and so.
Right, right.
I stayed, most of my time I stayed in Kiambu. I grew up in Kiambu. So I know those places, Katwanyaga, where you can tell me, all those places. Yeah. In Limuru, I can take you anywhere. You want me to take you to Burungeti, you want to take me to all those places.
You know them all.
All those corners.
You know them.
I know them all.
And they know you.
And they know me very well. So you can't say who is related to what.
So SG, do you think Jubilee is being a little desperate here? These desperate tactics?
No, they might be in a better position, but the way they are behaving, they are panicking.
Why do you think they're panicking?
Because, you know, me, I survive on elections. if there is somebody who is doing projection, you know, you need to have somebody. Leave alone these opinion polls things.
Right.
But you need to have somebody who is a strategist in projections. Projecting, putting you in a worst corner and putting NASA in a better position, and you see how you are, so that you can pull up and beat them. Maybe somebody have told them that if you are not careful, these people, you know, and indeed, you remember when I was here, I told you, and that time was early enough.
It was early days.
Yeah, for Uhuru, what did I tell you if you can remember?
Tell me.
I told you two things that Uhuru has got to do by that.
One
was, if you can remember.
I can't remember.
You can remember, but you are trying to be diplomatic. You want me to say, you know, I told you at that time.
Yes.
What Uhuru need to do at that time, not now, because it has been overtaken by events.
Yes.
Either he dismantles NASA at that time, of which he couldn't make it. He did dismantle. Now he's left with one option, which is an uphill task. So he has, or two, either he works hard and then he makes it, or one which is an uphill task. Can you know what is that one? Can you remember? Rigging. Rigging, yes. Which is an uphill task.
Right.
Because let me tell you, the young people of 50 years and below, they have no tribe. They want peace. And they are everywhere in the government. They will not allow you to rig.
And the majority?
The majority. They want peace. They want a peaceful Kenya.
Yes.
They want to secure their country.
Yes.
So they are not going to allow you to rig. And they have no tribe. These are the people who are feeding these leading politicians with information.
Right.
They are Kikuyus, they are Luyas, they are Luos, they are from coast, they are from everywhere. 50 years and below. So you cannot rig.
And now, ballot paper printing for the presidential election might be delayed. There's an appeal coming up on Friday.
But what I think, where the mistake is, can you tell me where the mistake is? I think IEBC. They are sleeping on that.
You think so?
I think so.
Why? Because of the tender? They gave one company, Al Ghurair, the tender?
You know, if they would have done their things right, they should know. How do you carry out procurement in a place, in a position where everybody is watching you? First of all, you attract public participation. Two, you follow the law to the letter. Three, those leading candidates across the political divide, you consult them time to time, so that you don't give them a room from where they would say what you are doing is not fair.
But then Al Ghurair had printed papers before during by-elections.
But the problem is that how do you choose the data unilaterally? How do you say unilaterally you start printing these papers? And Kenya's election is the most sensitive election in Africa.
Correct. And
the whole world is watching. Whatever little mistake you make, and I remember I said it on the press, I told the chairman of IEBC, he happens to come from Western, where I come from, that if you make a mistake, nobody would be able to give a lawyer a second chance or any chance to hold such very sensitive position. So you must be assertive, and you must be able to deliver free and fair elections to Kenya.
And you said they were sleeping on the job now with this.
Yeah, because you see, he should not leave Jubilee to defend him or to protect IEBC or politicians. They have usurped the responsibility of communication from IEBC, and they will become a suspect. Why are they being defended by those who are in the government? Is that fair? He is the person who is supposed to be issuing statement. And I will give you a good example. Like today, in Kisumu, the deputy president was heckled, and the president. That is not good. In Baringo, the NASA leadership was heckled. I expected at 9 p.m. to see the chairman of IEBC giving a warning. And the man in charge of national cohesion.
Ole
Kaparo. Warning, if they can't be assertive, they are attracting fujo during the elections, and we don't want fujo. We don't want problems. We want peaceful elections. And IEBC must be effective and assertive. You know?
SG, can this election now be free and fair with all the noise that we've been hearing lately?
No, if if they are properly handled, they will be free and fair.
Is there time to print new ballot papers, or at least the presidential?
It is, yeah. Even here, why are they going to Dubai and so on? We can still print these papers in our government press.
Government printer?
Yeah.
But then NASA or the opposition?
No, they will be there. You ask them to stand. Take number one. This is number one. Who is Raila's representative?
Yeah, let's count.
Who is
19 million.
Who is Uhuru's? Yeah.
And they all stand there?
They stand there. They have even their people 24 hours until the whole things are packed. 2 days. Why are we wasting money outside there? How can we cultivate a new dimension of trust into our people if we can't do our things here locally? Yeah. But when you go to Dubai, people think that extra papers will be printed.
Yes.
And then, you know.
Rigging.
That's the problem.
Yes.
But if you do your things openly, nobody will doubt you.
If the election were held today, SG, presidential, who would win?
I don't want to go to that because, you see, my position is a very sensitive position in this country and in Africa at large. And sometimes it's very difficult to differentiate Atwoli, a central organization of trade unions, and the organization that I lead on the continent, the organization of the trade union unity. So it is not easy. Even when I was going to unite lawyers, I had to ask for leave. And I was committed from Kotu. And I went as a private citizen after I had been requested by MPs from Western.
So do you take the credit that you united the lawyers?
Absolutely.
You take full credit?
You know, people have been saying, oh, there is a swing vote in Western Kenya, or Western Kenya, they have not decided. They decided on 31st of December 2016 at Buhungu Stadium. And I sealed that, we sealed that, and that is done. And
you take credit?
Absolutely correct, because I was given that responsibility.
Are the lawyers going to vote as a block?
Absolutely. One ballot box. Wait and watch.
As a block?
As a block. And I said I don't mind whoever they will vote for. But what my duty was, that I managed, was to bring them together, give them a leader.
Musalia Mudavadi.
Finished. Finished. Done. Finished. No more, no less.
No. What about Eugene Wamalwa?
He's part of our member of our community. He's our spare part, he's our wheel. Yeah, he's our future leader.
He's a spare part?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a future leader. If anything happened to Mudavadi today,
yes,
Eugene is there. Tangula is there.
Is he effective?
Very effective, if he's given.
Can he help steal some votes away from NASA?
Of course, that one I can't tell for sure.
Oh, come on. But you said he's a spare wheel.
Yeah. Look, I said he's an important person in our community. Cannot wish my way, or cannot say he isn't. He's a strong guy. It's our own son. But it depends you are playing from which number. Can you score where you are playing from? It depends. You can be an effective player,
yes,
but you are in the wrong position.
Right.
Yeah, you are not in the right position. You can't be able to score.
Is he in the wrong position? No,
he's not in the wrong position, but he might be in a very precarious position that he cannot be able to get football and pass it over for someone to score. This happens everywhere. It's all over.
Right.
Jeff.
Yes. It's like Wayne Rooney going to play for Everton now.
Yeah, sure. He might have some people. You are a good player, yes. I remember when Kenya was playing, those old days, and where people like Kadenge, people like the late Madegwa, people like the late Nyawanga, those people, Kenya was playing like those football you see in Europe. And when remaining about 5 minutes, and we have not scored as Kenya, everybody now is crying, Kadenge, Joe Kadenge, Joe Kadenge, and we had a Ugandan goalkeeper called Masajeke, you can't score. Now people are crying for Kadenge, so the only man who can score, that guy. And when people, when he is not getting football, nobody is passing football over to him, so it forces him to run and go back to look for the football. And from the middle of the field, Kadenge will be playing, people crying Kadenge until the goal, and he scores. The Kenya gets it. You see? So you can be in a wrong position and you are a good player. You cannot be able to make a mark. So we have several. They are everywhere in Kikuyu land, they are Western Kenya, in Luo Nyanza, at the coast, in Kisii. Good players, but they are in a wrong position. They cannot be able to score.
Does wrong position mean wrong party?
Not actually, the way you have positioned yourself. Because the party might not be able to propel you to leadership. But it is yourself. Like today, me, you know my party. Do you know my party?
Yes, KANU.
Yes.
Damu.
If today I took over KANU, it
Yes.
will be something different.
You?
Yes. It will, because I'm a scorer. It will be something different. Something different.
How different?
Oh, I have friends like you, and the rest will pump in more than 3 billion Kenya shillings, and everybody will be crying for that party. Do not be a joke. If you hear Atwoli has declared,
yes,
just sit in your house. Don't come outside. Don't try. Don't.
Stay at home.
Stay at home. It will be bad news. So the party is good, but the leadership, the scorer. So it is not a question of the party.
It's the scorer.
Scorer.
So if you took over KANU, what would Gideon do?
I don't know. Maybe he will decide, because the wave will be too strong.
What about Ndani? Nick Salat?
That's a very bright fellow. It's a bright fellow if he's backed up. Yeah, it's a very bright fellow, that young man.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But it depends, as I've told you, in which position are you playing your football. If you are in a precarious position, then it is very difficult for you to score.
Is Jubilee in a precarious position?
Not now. What I'm saying, that they require somebody to do proper projection for them. And also advice, you know. They need to have a serious political advisor, so that you know what to say, where to say where, because that is a part of our president. Yeah, it should not falter, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could Uhuru Kenyatta end up being a one-term president?
In Nigeria, it happened.
With good luck?
Yeah. No, not
good luck.
Not in Nigeria, in Ghana.
Ghana,
It happened. So it can happen here. It can happen anywhere. It depends how prepared are you. And you know, in politics, we had only one professor in politics in this country, and that was President Moi. You don't appear hostile, you know. Sometimes you play it full, but when you appear hostile, even to your opponents, you are arming them. They are getting more sympathies and support and so on. So that's the problem of Jubilee. Jubilee has got good leaders, but they appear hostile. You know, like when you go, like say, oh, Jeff, Bura, you start dismissing people. Some who have history. Yeah. How do you dismiss somebody who has history? First of all, recognize his history. Because the second liberation cannot you cannot have an history on second liberation of this country without naming Raila Odinga, Martin Joseph Shikuku, Charles Rubia, Kenneth Matiba. Yes. You cannot. Orengo. Yes. You can't do that. Yeah. You must recognize that. And then again, you can't talk about the new constitution. Like Jubilee now, they are driving on a new constitution. Who brought the new constitution? It was the fight of people like Raila and so on. People are getting tear gas here. We were seeing it. It was so serious. People died here fighting for this new constitution. And Kibaki said no more fighting, because he was part of that. That's right. Yeah, he said Kenyans, he must deliver a new constitution before he retires. So if you recognize that, you don't dismiss a person of history, immense history. Somebody who went in, somebody who was detained, and then you say, Bura, you know, you don't do that. You only say, if you are a very intelligent and diplomatic person, political diplomatic person, because political diplomacy is different from normal diplomacy. Because I'm fighting you and I'm very diplomatic. You should first of all praise that guy for what he did and so on, and then say he did so for us. He was fighting for us, and we will take care of the person. We are asking him, we are in another generation, let him rest. We will do all what it takes to honor him. You know, people will see you as a, but don't say you Mutu Afitendawili. To Afitendawili, he brought a new constitution. It is not that I'm supporting him. They are all my friends, including President Uhuru Kenyatta. But I'm saying, if I know, when I leave labor movement, people will be dismissing me like that. I hang myself life. Because of the contribution I've done. Right. Yeah, you cannot just say you'll dismiss Francis Atwoli. No. Like when the Jubilee guys were coming in, and they brought somebody to the Minister of Labor to fight me called Kambi Kazungu. And then they told him that guy is a demigod. Fight that demigod. I'm not a demigod. I'm a man who is enjoying massive support from workers locally and globally. Correct. Yeah. something that if you are a leader,
Yeah.
you should be happy of.
And respect.
Yeah, and respect it. Should say, I have a person who has made it. You know?
SG, that's good advice to the Deputy President, and I'm sure that's who you were referring to.
So many current leaders. So many current
Let's
leaders.
take a break, come back, and go around the country, SG, if we will. Let's go around the country. Let's start with Nairobi. Has Sonko lost his Sonko-ness?
Let me tell you.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hold the thought. Hold the thought. We'll come back. And also, we'll go around the country. Oparanya versus Khalwale. Huh? Nyongo versus Ranguma. Buzeki versus Mandago. Iron Lady versus Minji Minji. Oh, SG, he's waxing lyrical, giving some solid advice, sound advice. I hope you're listening out there. Jeff Koinange Live is going to take a break, come back. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Atwoli Francis, at Citizen TV Kenya. The question we're asking you tonight, does Kotu's Francis Atwoli deserve the credit for bringing the Luhya nation together? So far, 60% of you say yes, 40% of you say no. Keep tweeting, keep texting, 2242. JKL Live takes a break. We'll be back in a moment.
You're watching JKL.